Hi, good evening once again. It's Friday evening, 10:30, and Hold No Bars tonight coming to you live from the studios of MTV in Eccles. Tonight, Hold No Bars will present the issue of corruption. So we are going to be opening the lines tonight on corruption. And the biggest joke of them all has been this special organized crime unit, SOCU. SOCU was established to look at organized crime. It was established to look at the laundering of money and a number of other crimes which seem to be pervasive in the society, but also criminal activity that tends to make the state a failed state. So the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration established the Special Organized Crime Unit. And as we were setting up that unit, people were identified and trained, and the protocols were put in place for a specific purpose. As SOCUs entered its embryonic stages, the government changed. And with the change of government, the AFC AFC PNC-led APNU administration took SOCU down a different path. Remember, the issue in 2015 was all the PPP people were corrupt and we should be jailed. And that was the mantra from Moses and Kemraj and Nigel, and name all the names from both the coalition partners, 6 of them, right? And they went into all these audits, hundreds of millions of dollars to their friends who are not qualified forensic auditors were given these jobs. And almost every single one of the cases, their friends came out with people should be prosecuted in jail. And everything was handed over to SOCU. SOCU became the political harassment arm of the coalition government. And it seems to be that it became not only that arm, the political harassment arm of the administration, but it also seemed to be its own little empire. Backing up, the SOCU was strengthened with a British expert funded by the British government in the name of Sam Sitlington. And after his first stint, after they had said they're bringing charges against PPP people, there was a celebration in a popular downtown cafe between Sitlington and Kemraj and a few other top officials celebrating their success. Sitlington went away and was rehired on a second contract about a year and a half or 2 ago. And he came back and all gung-ho. And lo and behold, Mr. Sitlington, this paragon of virtue, this avatar, reincarnate, he went and set up a separate company to do the same work he was hired by the British government to do in SOCU. And he was guaranteed certain jobs. So that was Mr. Sitlington. Then a lady by the name of Shirome James, I think Shirome S. James, at least I pronounced her name wrongly. She was hired as a special prosecutor with a superintendent rank, a special investigator. And she was supposed to be another expert in fraud detection and bringing. She was an expert, but she was given the rank of a very high police rank in and hired in Soku. And it appeared she was hired without any special qualifications that entitled her to be a specialist at a very high salary. When she was confronted in court and asked to produce her qualifications so that she could be evaluated by the lawyers in court whether she was an expert witness or not, she chose to resign. She refused to present her qualifications in court, and she said her qualifications are a matter of national security. So, the second in charge of Soku, with a high police force rank, I think she was superintendent, she said her qualifications was a matter of national security, and she resigned. So Sitlington had his issues. He was in a big conflict of interest situation. James, the deputy, I'm not coming to the head of Soku yet. I'm leaving the best for last. James, who was the deputy head, she was supposed to be another expert, which expert refused to present her qualifications to the court so that she could be judged and adjudged as a expert witness or not, and she chose to resign. That's a principal position. I respect her for that. So she resigned. And when Mr. Sitlington was asked to tender his resignation, in fact, he was fired by the British. I would say when he was asked to tender his resignation to be polite to him and the people who hired him, he started talking. So Sitlington now started talking, and he said that Soku was badly managed, there was corruption in Soku, and I take great pride in saying credit to Leslie James, Commissioner of Police, under which Soku was supposed to fall. Right? Leslie James ordered an audit, and this is an internal position, because any company can, and many companies do have what they call internal audit departments, and the internal audit departments go around, check, double check, ensure that the accounting is right, the inventory is right, that the protocols are good, robust, and that's like self-regulating, yeah, before the professional auditors come in. So James, Leslie James, Commissioner of Police, ordered this audit for Soku, and boom, not surprising, the revelation in today's Stabrook News that Soku is a den of corruption, mismanagement, falsification of documents, and the whole works. The head of Soku, his name is Leslie James. No, that's the Commissioner of Police. Thought you caught me, huh? Sidney James is the head of Soku. But remember, we had three James. Leslie James, Commissioner of Police. We have Sidney James, head of Soku, and we have Sharomi James. I don't know if they're related, maybe just by having the last surname. Like we have a lot of Kisuns, Prasads, Singhs, Prashad, few Jagdiyos and few Nadirs around. But Smith, a lot of people got the same last name and not necessarily related. So Mr. Sidney James, hey, hold on to the last shred of dignity which you have. And I want to say to Sidney James, you should tender your resignation or go on voluntary leave, because Soku, in my view, has nowhere to go. It has been so badly misused. It has been an entity of abuse of innocent people. It, no matter how much you try to put new people in such a nasty organization, you can't clean it up. So, hold no bars is holding no bars where Soku is concerned. And I've been tracking Soku for almost 3 years. It can't be cleaned up. In fact, at one program on another station, I said, Soku mission was supposed set a thief to catch a thief. And, I said that months ago, months ago. And apparently that was so. You hear about informants being paid, no receipts, falsification of documents. And look, all these court cases which Soku has, and this is the record. There is a principle in the practice of the law that says when you come to the courts for redress, you have to come with clean hands. You must come to the court with clean hands. And it's sad, an entity that could have done so well for our country, an entity that could have made a big difference in promoting law, order, respect, decency, and keep many of us on our toes. That entity has been used just as a political whip, regardless of how or who wields that whip. So this is the issue for me tonight, and I'm holding no bars, and I'm going to open shortly the lines for your comments. My view now is that Sidney James, the head of Soku, we are pleading with him to resign. But it's like throwing water on duck back, because here, you had a no confidence vote. And President Granger, on the 1st of May, 2015, he said, no, we are going to have a government that respects the wishes of the legislature. The legislature voted 33 to 32, a majority, in favor of a no confidence motion. Granger refused to resign. President Granger refused to resign. Yes. Cathy Hughes, the drug bond issue centers around her tenant. Cathy Hughes' tenant. Cathy Hughes' husband speak to the issue of having a direct link to the government in setting up his oil consultancies. Right? And now Cathy Hughes' company getting sole sourcing. These are things that you should resign for. Resign. A man like James Patterson, you are being appointed by a one-sided president. You're on your last leg. You want to leave. You said you are Chief Justice of Grenada. The OECS holds democracy dearly and have the highest respect for principles. And James, chairman of GCOM James, you should have tendered your resignation the moment the president or refused to accept the appointment. But the government, the supporters of the government, ain't got any shame. Wrong and strong. Last week we had a lot of persons who called and said, yes, you're not giving people a chance. But hey, this is hold no bars. This is my position. I hold in no bars. Shortly, the lines will be open and you will get a chance to speak as you wish. And there's another thing that came to my attention in the last couple of weeks. And this issue, the issue here is juvenile delinquency. And we have a couple of callers both on the landline and the cell phone. Just give me a few moments. And the issue here is bullying in schools. And this is not bullying like taking away a icicle or taking away your mango. This is an issue of students 11 and 12 years old holding down another male student in a washroom and penetrating them from the rear. This is an issue of school children in the East Bank stabbing up. And you know what Child Protection said to me? These kids are too small to be tried as adults. Well, here, if you're going to do adult act, you'll have to face adult consequences. That's my view. I ain't holding no bars. So this is one which I'm getting really riled up about, right? And when the director of the Child Protection Agency will tell me about all these things and so, and the parents could be held, well, hold the parents accountable. And they promise to call you back weeks now, nothing, you're not hearing of it. So, tonight though is this issue of corruption, the decency that ought to permeate our society and our people in office, that they should resign. The abandonment and the total disbanding of SOCU and juvenile delinquency. Let's get to the phone. I know I took up a lot of your time, but tonight, hold no bars. I've given you quite a bit to chew on, and let's get back. We've already had like 3 calls coming in. Operator's going to put an ad up, and then we're going to come back. Yes, Easter is just around the corner. A week from today, it's Cross Buns Day. Good Friday is next week. And so from Thursday, we're going to be inundated with hot cross buns, and we are going to be into the kite flying weekend next weekend. So fly your kite safely, and we'll be back. We'll have a program next Friday also, Good Friday. Operator, you ready for that ad? Yes, go ahead. Okay, we're back. We have a caller, and he is talking about GRA and the taxes. Go ahead, you're online.
Yeah, and the president said good health care. And he's going to Cuba and get medical checkup. Why you don't go judge? You don't go judge and ask.
No, no, I won't entertain that. We have a responsibility to give our leaders the best that is available to save their lives. Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're speaking about corruption and the illegal stuff.
Right.
It's nobody most honest and disrespectful and corrupt more than y'all.
Okay. Thank you. Great. So the calls are coming in now back again on the lines. And let me clear that one. Let me clear the second line. And let's take a call on the cell phone. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yeah, boss. Good evening, man.
I hope your telephone number don't show there. Let me turn that around. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I'm just calling to say that I really appreciate the job. But the thing about corruption in schools, right? I believe that we need to get that one thing in our schools that doesn't be taken away from the schools. I remember when I used to be going to school, we had like the school and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the people knock all the things out of school. They don't even have the Pandits or the Hindus or the Mujis or the Muslims. Nothing to do with God in the school. So what you find is that the devil took over the school, right? And took over the minds of children.
Mm-hmm.
So what you find happening now, as you talk about bullying children and all of that, nowadays you never even thought about that. We used to be big man and jumping in trench,
right.
That those kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now it's a different story, right? So schools or whatever you call it.
Great.
We can do whatever. You know, we need to get back those things in the school. I think it will help.
Thanks a lot. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Okay, we lost that caller. And GRA is another issue we're going to have to deal with. GRA has had complimented 8 weeks ago. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
Hi, firstly, I must welcome you back this week again.
Thank you.
Okay, hold no bars. I think if a child
Mm-hmm.
or someone going to school
Mm-hmm.
and they want walk with a knife in their bags and the weed in their bag and
Mhm.
all those things, those are adult attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get caught up with the adult attitude,
Mm-hmm.
well, then you will be treated like an adult,
Right. I agree.
right? Excuse me.
Tha-
Yeah, you must be treated like an adult. You want to go with the gun, you want to go with the knife, you want to go with the weed and the cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get treatment like an adult.
Good.
I think, secondly, the parents have 99% to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the parents allow the children to do certain things home, they will take it to the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to bully other children and all those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so yes, tonight we're going to talk about corruption. We're going to talk about the agency that should be dealing with corruption, SOCU, which is one of the most corrupt places that we've ever seen in the country. Not I said so, just the internal investigation done by the Commissioner of Police, Leslie James, against Sidney James. That report said so. But all of us suspected what SOCU was about. Hi, good evening. You're on the
Hi.
air. Hold no bars.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to divert a little from what you're talking, right?
Sure.
I had an issue. I used to work in the Ministry of Social Protection. I have retired.
Mhm.
I have an issue with my pension,
Mhm.
and I also to cook up documents because they wanted to say there were overpayments. Now, when I asked for a breakdown, they cook it up and all of that.
Mhm.
I wrote so many letters. I even wrote to the Ministry of the Presidency,
Mhm.
and I was advised to write a letter to the Office of the Ombudsman.
Mhm.
Now, I thought all these commissions were independent commission, right? I wrote the ERC, I wrote the Public Service Commission. Nobody responded. Eventually, I wrote the Office of the Ombudsman since October. Up to now, I'm not getting a response. And I've written like 5 letters, took like 18 documents. And every time I call and I threaten to go to the media, then I'm getting a response. So I'm wondering if this commission are independent, why they're not handling my issue. And for me, in my opinion, I think it's political and it's about race. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, I just want to say to that person, just get those documents to us, let us have a look at it, and I'm sure we could advise because all of us are on the same pension scheme. It's right, it's contributory, and we have the same formula. What's good for a minister, an MP is the same. It's the same pension scheme that public servants would contribute to. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good night, Mr.
Good evening.
I just want to differ from you on what you told a caller early on.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about democracy,
Right.
and we talk about equity and equality.
Mm-hmm.
There is no leader greater than any other citizen of Guyana, and therefore, why our leaders can't go to Georgetown Hospital?
Mhm.
And you told the man what our leaders got to get a bit. It's citizens of this country, everyone,
I agree.
from leader to the baggage by, must get the same. I disagree with you. That's a big fault to the PPP. They're going to, if they continue to talk this nonsense, are you going to lose this election? A lot of Indians, are you looking after, are you supporters, are you looking after richness?
Okay, thank you. So you're entitled to your opinion. We differ, but we could be civil with each other. Okay, so lines are clear there. One is coming through on the... Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening.
If you don't lower the volume on the TV, I'll cut you off.
That thing was talking about the school boys.
Yes, tell me.
Them, why they open up political boys school for? I'm an ex-policeman. And I used to get people along at my school. Why can't they send them to my school?
Okay, thank you. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I would like to just highlight the event that happened with my son-in-law and daughter today at the breakdown. My son-in-law he's working his boat and it's around 40. This morning he went out here. Then his bus was full and he was turning to go on the road. A police stopped him. Order the passengers to get out. Take my son and order him to take the bus to the breakdown police station. When he went there, my son asked, what you have me? What is the problem? What have I done? When they told the boy, they said, we have it on tape that you was carrying some illegal stuff, some thieving stuff. My God, that man has 2 big children going to secondary school. He's trying very hard for an honest living. Not because my children that I will say this, because when people look in they are church boys. But I can swear with anything that this boy is honest. Only in 2017, 5th of November, they beat my daughter and my son-in-law, take away $3.5 million, and they didn't want the car also. Now today they have the man and his wife at the station there. Who they said they have it on tape. My son-in-law told them to bring the tape, because they said they see a color like what his boss is saying, a color like that. My son-in-law asked him, what is the number of the bus? Look at my bus number. What is the number? I bring the tape and show me. I know I'm not innocent. Bring it and show me. They have him hold it till up to 5 o'clock. They say, tonight you will get 50. My God, a man have a family, his house, his business to look after, and have this man tell him tonight? It's not fraud, it's money.
Thanks.
Police fraud from the people. And first, my daughter told me, she said, Mom, if I could have paid them, the big ones upstairs and break down, as ladies, she didn't call his name, just as ladies, she's talking about blueprints.
Yeah.
And my God, she said, Mom, it was so nasty, it was so disgraceful. This police force needs to revamp. I don't know what the game's doing. This thing has really become ridiculous. They never go out one day when my daughter was robbed and go to the police station. They never go.
Well, thanks. Let me take a few more calls and I hope it's resolved, right?
So this
Thank you.
corruption to the mass.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Mr. Nadir, good night, sir.
Good evening, good evening.
Yeah, I'm just calling to advise the nation so we can work together for one common cause. This is not for PNC. I think those errors are over. And it's time to work collectively to achieve what we can achieve for our own sake, or we serve our children. If we be for I alone, so I think we should come together and do this thing together.
Thanks a lot. Good evening. Okay, good. So you're going to have to. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Good evening. Okay, so it's a very, very busy night. Good evening. You're on the air. Walaikum salam.
I'm calling to contribute a little to this corruption thing. Right?
Go ahead.
Now, I am a bus owner, right? And I work on the 42 bus park. Now, there are some buses, well, now they got a set of laws. I don't know if the laws have always been here, now they have been implemented or what, right? But they got a set of laws. When you find out the police coming out here, they're applying the laws to ordinary busmen. And the buses that breaks the laws are the buses that are owned by policemen. Nobody says anything to them. Nobody tells them anything. The other day I was talking to a man. I told a man, I said, man, how you all not seeing them fella? And the minibus guy, he heard and he said, like, you know this is we government and you know this is a police bus. So I told him, I said, not because you're whatever race or whatever you are. I said, we are all Guyanese, and if something should apply to you, it should apply for all of us. And you know what happened? The police actually took us to the station and had us sitting on here almost whole day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when I asked him, I said, man, you're wasting our time. What is exactly you need from us? He said, y'all deal with me. Right? So every time they hold you for no reason, you gotta give them money. And the policemen bosses are breaking the law, nobody gives them anything. Sir, I really wish that the PPP government can come back in power and these corruptions can stop in this country.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in fact, I had a program recently on police professionalism, and it was very busy like tonight. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hold no bars.
Hello.
Good evening. You're on the air.
Government, I introduce back the hanging, they will win the election.
Thank you. Okay, so a call to recommence hanging. Good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This country full of corruption. When we get rid of it?
Okay, you're going to have to lower that volume because we're getting a feedback. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with Hold No Bars. Good evening.
I enjoy it very much. I always did a good job since it was in tourism,
Thank you.
And I want to say some response because in traffic ran for the police station. Inspector Boyce.
Okay, I can't allow you to call names, right? Because people wouldn't have a chance to defend themselves, right? If you want to call and give a good word on somebody, fine, but I can't deal with calling names on issues. It might be correct and factual and so, but on the air it's difficult to entertain that, right? So just bear with me. Okay, caller? Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. Go ahead.
Hold no bars. I feel they should bring an end for corruption.
Great.
Chinese did it in the late 80s.
They still have it.
They hang all the corrupt officials. And look at the Chinese economy right now.
Well, I wouldn't contribute or connect hanging with the growth of the Chinese economy, right? Because that could be abuse.
At least it eliminates the majority of the corruption in the officials. It serves as a deterrent.
Excellent. Thanks. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. You're on the air. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hold no bars. You're on the air. Okay. So you got to be ready as soon as we come through. Let us have you on the air with Hold No Bars. It's a busy night and just about 24 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can get 25 callers in 24 minutes, right? So be crisp with your contributions this evening. We also do have the same number coming in there, that cell number, WhatsApp. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I need to get going out to like kill you or something.
Nonsense. Okay, come on. Let's be serious. We have to stop talk like that out. We don't have a time delay on the program, so it's hard to cut out calls like those. Hi, good evening. So, please. Good evening. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I think it's kind of plenty right now in Guyana.
Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people in the harbour space right now. It's not walk and all these things.
Yeah.
But I plenty everything for you. Your bicycle, everything.
True.
I'll park your bicycle in the shop and walk the toy bicycle gone.
Yeah. Thanks. That is something Leslie James will have to deal with because that thieving and robbing has become pervasive. Hi, good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want contribution to the Suku.
Go ahead.
Okay. The Suku, the taxpayer money paid those guys.
Right.
Okay. Since Suku established, I never heard that they win any cases yet. Okay, I hear all this big lambast saying that they're going to jail Jagdeo, they're going to jail this one, they're going to jail that one, and nothing comes out of it. And all the time is taxpayers' money. And I guess that the money that they pay to Suku could pay to others, could do other things in this country.
I agree.
And secondly, I do understand the leaders them have to get the good treatment or whatever. I mean, they are leaders.
Right.
But then, if the budget didn't cut for the specialty hospitals, he could be in Guyana. And the specialty hospital and take the treatment. And it would be less cost.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good point. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This country has a lot of corruption, man. And people now work with this constitution in this country, you know. And we're doing a lot of disaster going on and draining, you know. Well, depending on this side, and that I want to circle this money from this side of money. And if we can do something now, we get them the chairman, he should know about the constitution more than me. On don't like me.
Yeah.
He should know about that, because he was a judge, and he should know, tell Granger Plain that the constitution calls for that, you got to work with her.
Okay, he probably went to... Good, thanks a lot. He probably went to the school which says a majority is not tortoise. Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with Hold No Bars.
Manzoor.
Go ahead.
We're talking about who's the president for this country right now?
I think all of us know the answer.
So who's the prime minister?
We know the answer to that too. When the president or the prime minister is away, persons are appointed to perform the duties of, right? Perform the duties
They
of.
got 3 prime ministers. Okay then.
Thanks. Okay. So when people are away, right, like the president, the person who moves up performs the duty. He is not acting president. He performs the duty of president. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Mr. Nadir,
Go ahead.
I had called in earlier concerning the pension, right?
Yes.
It's not NIS pension or,
I know.
You get retired, we get a statement of indebtedness.
Right.
Well, a statement of indebtedness is a permanent secretary and the principal person of to hook it up, and they wanted me to make arrangements to pay the money to their accounts department and not for it to be deducted from the Ministry of Finance. Then I asked them for the statement. Now the corrector refused. It's 20 months since I've retired, and up to now I cannot receive my money. I wrote to the president, and he was kind enough, and he sent my letter.
Okay, well, let us get some of the facts established.
Ali, and when we had a meeting this January, he just insulted me and asked me things like if the personal officer had sex with me and all those things. Embarrassing. I don't understand. You have ministers who don't have problem-solving skills, and that's the Ministry of Social Protection, and you're supposed to be protecting people instead of abusing them. And I don't understand what kind of minister they have. Don't have problem-solving, listening skill or anything.
Let us get some of that paper to me. Let me have a check on it. I think I understand.
Can I get on calling yourself?
Right. Good.
Thank
sure.
you.
Hi. Good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hold no bars. Go ahead. Okay, if you don't turn down the volume on the television, I'll cut you off, right? It's not being rude, but I think you're annoying the ears of all the listeners. Okay, so once I hear that buzz, I'm cutting you off, right? So come on, turn down the volume on the television when you... Okay, some of the WhatsApp messages. Good night, sir. We're talking about corruption. Corruption is an understatement. It's like a mass devastation on a catastrophic scale, and this government is creating it. That's on a WhatsApp message. On another one, okay, that one's a little bit personal. So, good evening, you're on the air. Hold no bars.
Oh, this is Nadir. Good night.
Good evening.
Mr. James, your thought in his face is shaking. Because if you recall all those small people, they run them.
Yeah.
At the airport, they want to take it away.
Right.
And this gold smuggler, that disgrace.
Yeah.
And they are more corrupt than anybody. And also, next thing, is the guy police force up there to checking for documents? I mean, if they go to the police station, they are short the police, but at the road, like 5 sets of police just give the engine road, come around from Public Road City to from the corner. It's ridiculous. And the different police commissioner, they changing it at all.
Right. Thanks a lot. I totally agree with that caller. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good night, sir.
Good evening.
Evening. No respect to Karen, that's no confidence. Yeah, give enough respect for it. So as when they no confidence, then they feel catch themselves. It's time that they come out of the office.
Yeah, but then catch yourself, Then catch yourself. Because one time you hear all the dual citizens resign, next time you hear they're tendering their resignation, but it's ineffective yet. What nonsense is this? You trying to fool people? Come on. So, okay, great. So thanks to those comments, and the lines are all free once again. Wow, we have quite a few missed calls on the cell phone though. Yes, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
The private car taxi is legalized now in Guyana. You had a lot of private cars working in Georgetown, and the police do anything about it. In front of City Wall, all these heavy tinted cars, run by code, different by...
Okay, answer to is not legalized. It's against the law. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening. Good evening.
Go ahead. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
In at the 32 park there, right?
Yeah.
They had a lot of phone snatchers there, and no police are there to represent nobody there. They need to get police in Seveneto to catch it. They thief.
Exactly. Instead, what is happening? Minister of Public Security, the man performing the duties as Prime Minister, he's putting up more cameras. I wonder if the cameras going to run behind people and catch them. Right? The cameras are so high, you can't properly identify somebody. And I still believe that we have an issue with camera evidence in court. So I don't know how he is going to deal with that. Hi, good evening. Sorry, I just cut you off. Okay, good. Lines are clear once again. Good evening. It is just about 50 minutes remaining on the program tonight, and we've dealt with corruption. People are speaking about some of the simplest form of corruption, which could graduate to bigger things. What is happening with respect to the treatment of people on the road? Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
I'm President, brother.
Good evening.
The thing in that parliamentary treason happening here,
Which one?
the so-called no confidence motion, because
Not at all.
A parliamentary dictionary say 50% plus 1 for simple majority.
No parliamentary dictionary says so. It says the greater number. One
I
more than
hello, I'm a researcher and I could produce it to you.
Produce it to me, you can send it to WhatsApp, and then I'll eat all these words on air.
And then another thing happening here is that the PPP don't want Modi to come to country when they're not in Africa. PPP is a Hindu party. Modi is a Hindu party. So when they come to coincide with the centenary of the colonization scheme since 1919, this is the game we're going on here.
So the PPP...
Now, this is the again for the people of African descent.
So the PPP is stopping Modi from coming to Guyana? Wow, PPP is very powerful.
Yeah, they don't want them to come when they perceive Afro-centric government in Africa. They want to come and do like them in Africa. So when they come, they humanize them up. This is the reality. I have the evidence.
Okay. Well, any party that's going to start with a position of being in the minority and appealing to minority will stay in the minority, because I don't know Hindus are the majority in the population of Guyana.
They are the majority of the PPP party.
Well, PPP party being a majority is not a majority in the country, right? Do some research. Okay. Do some research, and thanks for your comments. Good, stimulating discussion. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with Hold No Bars. Go ahead. Okay, the person is now ready. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Well, like Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
What we need, believe PPP, we have neither the APN government. We need a new government, because all y'all just corrupt.
Okay, thanks for the view. All of us are corrupt. We need new people. That's a good view. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Nadir.
Good evening.
Say something to you, sir.
Sure.
Just get your own party and run it, sir, because let me tell you something.
Man, I had a long time at here, 25 years, 23 years in Parliament, you know.
I know you long in the TPP thing is Kwame Mackay family talking to you.
That's okay.
I know you long as a good man, Mr. Nadir, right? The thing the TPP party last year, the majority of people that would die, you could remember, right, with those massacre, right? PPP party is a good party, yeah. But remember the massacre with the amount of people that would die, they never stand up for those people. You understand?
Thank you.
The police force them bad from then to now, and it's getting worse all the time.
Thank you.
And there's nobody that the commissioner could tell don't take bribe men that they're behind doors.
Great. I prefer though to do this, sensitize people and give you a chance to speak. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. Go ahead. Okay. If you're not ready, we're going to cut you off because we have a lot of people calling in. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. No person not there again. Yes, so to that caller, thanks to the vote of confidence, but at our age, we need to give you bright young people an opportunity. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hey, good night.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. The cameras were put enough. I was robbed. The people went in my vehicle. The camera picked up everything. When we got to the court, the Providence, we got to the court. The person lawyer tell the magistrate he cannot accept no type of camera. Yeah, and they got to the High Court and appeal got the High Court and get bail. They get bail. The judge give the person bail. And the camera show everything. The police got all the evidence. Police get everything for set up at the court for show. And the lawyer object to it. Waste the police time. So if the police catch people and the magistrate just listen to what the lawyer say and just throw out the case and dismiss the matter.
Yep. No substitute for good, hard police legwork. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What did this prison bring on with dead? The 70 people are dead. I hear my mother.
And what's the point?
Yeah, just have it there.
Okay. Good. So we just have about 10 minutes remaining on the program. The calls are coming fast and furious. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, good night.
You're on the air.
I would like to give my contribution
And we will listen patiently.
about the no confidence motion and about the whole situation.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I think the government is talking about the children and the whatever, but we need to set the example from the top. The PPME or the PPP is setting no example to the nation at large. And the nation is looking upon the people in authority as an example.
Thank you.
Talking about these young boys stealing. The people in government stealing. What they expect will happen at the bottom. Now, I think the example should come from the top.
Thank you very much.
I don't know when they're all going to decide to start it. I don't know when. Yeah, I got to decide. This is my contribution tonight.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Okay. In fact, what I want to say to the caller is, and I repeat this over and over again, John F. Kennedy said, the bad politicians are elected by the good people who stay at home and don't get involved. So all of us who say that Manzoor, you and the whole bunch of you before and now, bad, the good people got to come out and put the ones they perceive to be good in power, right? So come out and get involved. Thank you very much. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with the...
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Now, you hear people talking about corruption with this government.
Right.
Wasn't the PPP corrupt?
You
had corruption in the PPP too. It's not so. Right. Look at it. This government inherited the corruption from the PPP. And it trickled down. So it's very hard for this government now to clean up the mess that the PPP left. And let me tell you something.
Listening.
This government has done exceedingly well.
In corruption.
50 years.
Go ahead.
It is in what the PPP is saying now. It's now they're seeing now what is going on. And they didn't do it in 23 years. They want the government to do it in 3 years.
Okay.
And those people that are calling, don't cut me off yet.
Go ahead.
Don't do like the lady last week when I was telling you about the young people lazy and they don't want to work. I could tell you why they are asked, and I didn't get to explain. She cut me off. It's unethical for you to do that. You have to listen.
We do that, sir.
Now, well,
But I can't give you the whole program.
I hope the lady is listening tonight where I tell you why the young people, they are lazy. In my time, I didn't get to work. The only work you could get, and I'm a tradesman. The only work you could get was security work, and I had to go and do it. Now, I'm not saying some of the young people mustn't do it, but when I go and do security work, you had some people from bodies come down, some young chaps like myself, with 9 and 10 subjects, it's GCE.
Hold on a second, hold on.
Yeah.
You had 9 subjects and had to go and do security work?
No, I'm not saying me.
Okay.
Right. You had some guys from bodies, and it's security work, and 9 and 10 subject GCE, and they come and do security work, because that was the only job at the time. The thing is what I'm trying to say is that they got other jobs other than security work outside what the young people could go and do. According to my grandmother, you got to take what you get and waste what you want. Right, so, and some of them guys eventually turn top notch.
Okay, giving you 15 seconds to wrap up because we're just 5 minutes to closing.
So what I'm trying to tell you, these young people, why they are lazy. I got my grandson is a young man. He got almost CFC, and he want to go and do teacher work.
Okay, thanks a lot. So you're basing everybody else on the example of your grandson. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
I called to find out, when you go in the station and you tell the truth, that's what you do. If that is a law that you could get locked up.
Well, some people could try to twist it and say you're not the victim, you're the perpetrator, but they gotta get proof, right? So,
well, this incident I'm trying to ask you here, there's my neighbor passed everything. I just asking this question to the
Go ahead. Yeah.
Advice. This is a woman, she passing by me every single day and staring at me.
That's not crying?
And today I asked her what happened. What is in here for you? She go to the station and she tell the station, police can call me, I was here.
What she tell the station?
Police asked me, Toshina calling from
No, what she said to the station?
That I asked her why she watching in my premises. The police asked me if I know this woman. I said yes. The police asked me what you said to this woman. I told the police I was sitting at my downstairs and this woman is in a car passing, staring at me non-stop. So when the car reached in front of me closer, I asked her what happened, why you looking at in here for? The police turned and tell me I could get locked up.
Don't worry, the policeman. He just granting you. Don't worry with him. Tell he is not. Yeah.
I have a next point.
Go ahead quickly.
March, I have a CCTV security camera at my premises. On the night of the 25th of March, it have somebody come in my yard and steal things. I carry it right to the tuition outpost and carry it to Lenora for upgrade. When I carry it to upgrade Lenora, I make a dish out of it. I lodge it there. Since the 27th to now, I can't get it for right or whatever purpose.
Okay, I have to cut you off because we just have 2 minutes remaining. But Lenora, listen, look after that lady's camera. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. Okay. Good evening.
Hi, good night, sir.
You're going to be the last caller tonight.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to make a contribution to the program.
Go ahead.
Right? People claiming the 23 years that the PPP run this country, PPP bar, PPP do this and that, right? And to me, the country run safe, money circulating, everything going nice, the Camp CJ went up properly. And the present government in power right now, when I take over the country,
Go ahead.
before 3 years, the Camshi jail burned down.
Twice.
Plus 17 prisoners dead.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe really understand them kind of calculation.
Mm-hmm. And they're in charge.
Yeah.
That's a great point you made. And on that note, I want to thank you for calling. So tonight has been a busy night and a lot of focus on the issue of corruption. And many persons say this corruption thing starting at the bottom, and a lot of it has to do on the road and in the police station. So Commissioner James, you're going to have your work cut out. And it's the second time in this week the police and its professionalism has come under focus. So tonight, Commissioner, you have a lot of work to do, but call your friend Sidney James, I don't know if you're related, and tell him do the decent thing and resign. Resign, because the empire is falling apart around him. So cool. Mr. Sitlington got fired. Sidney's deputy had to resign. She showed a little bit of decency and she resigned. The place is full of, I don't want to say the word, but gosh, the report is not good. So Commissioner Leslie James, please call your friend, Sidney James, and say to him, don't wait to be fired. Preserve some of your dignity and tender your resignation. Soku ain't got no way to go. And the faster you can cut Soku away from you, don't reorganize it. It can't ever get good. Right? Once the apple turn rotten or the mango turn rotten, it can't come back. Right? So, call your friend Sidney, tell him resign, and just shut down Soku, because it's going to cause the police force to be even more embarrassed. The 1,500 new recruits that you've hired and put out there, they're looking to see what is happening at the top. So they'll say, hey, if the top doing it, why the bottom can't do it? And with that, let me thank all of you for watching, for calling, for listening, and for continuing the conversation after we close this program, because all weekend you call. I don't have a problem with that. But for tonight, the last half an hour left, Friday, and 1 week before Good Friday and the Easter weekend, I want to say thanks again. And from all of us here at MTV, to you and your family, have a great rest of the night. Thank you.